Welcome back to Gagefield, y'all. Gagefield AI here in a frosty, day after Thanksgiving, Gage, Kentucky. Episode 2, Season 1. We're back in this S770 on Field 80, letting corn pay the bills while we test the new brain and scheme up goats, sheep, concrete, and that 8R410 waiting to drag the summer's chisel across this hill.
And I'm Casey, still full of dressing and already spending that corn check on fence and pallet space we technically don't own yet. If Field 80 is the Black Friday sale, what's first in the cart for you? Goat shelter, sheep pens, or a proper mud-free pallet shed?
I'm grabbing the goat shelter first, every time. But here's how I'd actually play it on a one-person day like this. Alarm at 5, feed and water done by 6. Then you're in the S770 by 7 with cameras on the lots and a whiteboard list on the shop wall. So you're not thinking, did I latch that gate all morning instead of watching the auger?
Yeah, walk that out a little more. Where do you sneak in lunch in the random chaos? Like, it's noon, the combine's running, a goat has its head stuck in a panel, and the Mac just hit the scale at Gage grain. What gets dropped first in your perfect lazy route day? The grain, the goat, or the phone call?
You always save the goat, then the grain. Then you lie to whoever's calling and say, sorry, was in a bad spot. What's up? That's actually why I like turning this into a little budget game. Same corn check, 3 futures. Efficiency upgrades, Critter Kingdom, or off-farm armor like solar and a tiny farm store at the crossroads here.
All right, so your team, spreadsheet and solar panels. I'm probably slamming half that check into drainage and a dryer, so this S770 isn't racing storms every fall. Then skimming just enough off the top for one fun thing. Maybe Field 85 becomes the science fair and the tourist selfie spot at the same time.
2 years from now, I want Field 85 to be the reason today's tree line passes feel smart instead of random. I'd carve one strip over there into a weird cover cocktail. Rye, clover, a little tillage radish, and maybe graze it light with goats. Either it turns into jet fuel for soil, or it's the strip we joke about for a decade.
And that's the fun part. If it flops, you just keep it quarantined on 85 and laugh about the radish incident. If it works, suddenly the shady shoulder you're running on 80 graduates from corn only to a fancy rotation zone. Would you ever trust a neighbor to help run that experiment? Or is this strictly mad scientist territory?
I'd actually invite 3 totally different neighbors into the experiment. One old school, don't fix what ain't broke guy gets a straight wheat strip. The organic diehard gets his clover jungle. And then you give the Instagram hobby farmer a sunflower and pumpkin selfie lane. Same field, 3 personalities, and you all trade yield notes over coffee.
And you just know the selfie strip would be the one that accidentally makes the most money. Less grain, more minivans and photo sheets. I kinda like that though. Your serious wheat and cover data gets paid for by fall pictures and pumpkin money. Who's first to admit it on the tailgate, you or the neighbors?
Honestly, that tailgate moment's easy. The weather usually admits it for you. First dry week, everybody's bragging about yield. Then we get a wet, rutted mess, and suddenly, that same neighbor is like, yeah, those pumpkin selfies kinda paid for the gravel and tile, didn't they? Forecast is the real referee in those arguments.
And you can feel that in this pass right here. Blue sky, dry ground, your king of 80. Flip it to a drizzle week, and now the S770 only moves in the afternoons. Mornings are 8R chisel or fence posts. And a freeze-thaw stretch turns into hall manure and fix ruts before the sun turns it to soup. What's your favorite of those 3 chaos weeks?
Honestly, my favorite of those chaos weeks is the freeze-thaw one. But only if I've got gadgets on my side. Cameras on the lots, moisture probes pinging my phone, S770 on guidance along this tree line, so I can steal brain cells back for fence checks. That's my dream people versus robots day. Same acres, but one day you run it with nothing but a pocket notebook. The next, you let every sensor and bit of AI help you juggle corn, critters, and trucks without burning down your attention budget.
Yeah, because right now you can see how much focus this one curvy pass eats. Branches, slope, auger hanging out, tank creeping toward full. On a paper notebook day, you're white-knuckled and forgetting lunch. On a tech day, you've got alerts if a gate's open and the goats are yelling, so your brain can stay right here in the corn instead of sprinting back to the yard every 5 minutes.
Honestly, my favorite chaos weeks are when you've got that one shared piece of gear in the mix too. Like a portable handling system, 3 neighbors bought together. Now, it's not just, is the ground fit? It's, whose turn is it to run goats? Whose calves are bawling? And who already dinged the paint backing into a corral?
Yeah, I want to see the custody agreement on that thing. No Sunday returns, you break a latch, you buy 2. And everybody signs off that if the weather shoves your turn into mine, we swap weekends and a pan of brownies. Out here, that trailer almost becomes a 4th neighbor in the group chat.
Honestly, I'm team 3-year manure map more than anything. While this S770 creeps toward full, I'm looking at these weaker shoulders and already deciding which corner gets goat bedding year 1, which strip on 85 gets sheep pack year 2, and where we chisel it in so the yield map 3 falls from now tells the story back to us.
Yeah, that's the sneaky part. Those muddy winter sacrifice pens are basically prepaid fertilizer if you park them smart. I kind of want to print a map of 80 and 85, grab a highlighter and sketch. Red zones are cash corn now. Blue circles are future manure jackpots once the goats and sheep clock in.
Oh, the selfie strip neighbor 100% admits it last, and only after someone does the math on the tailgate. That's where the brownie clause economy kicks in. Nobody pays cash for data or that shared handling trailer. They just start trading pans of brownies, diesel top-offs, and a spare Saturday to move panels or haul a load of bedding where the manure map needs it.
Yeah, like you don't hire a crew to clean out that goat and sheep sacrifice pad. You text the neighbor's 4-H kids, promise freezer beef and a tray of brownies, and suddenly you've got a mini workday. No invoices, but the value's real. Manure lands on the weak corner of 80, and you just bought 3 years of better corn with a baking sheet.
You can feel invisible infrastructure week just standing by that parked Mac. This is where the boring stuff pays off. If this lane up to the house is gravel, lit, and wide enough to swing a trailer, harvest feels calm. If it's ruts and tree limbs, every full truck and AI combine pass is a gamble you remember for 10 years.
Yeah, and that's where second job acres live or die, right? If you roll in after work in the dark, you need lights, posts, and gates laid out so you can dump a load or feed critters in 40 minutes, not 2 hours. Otherwise, these pretty Field 80 sunsets turn into why are we still out here nights real fast.
Yeah, this is exactly what attention budget farming looks like when it's working. AI S770 eating corn in a straight line. Lanes simple enough that you're not doing math at every driveway. And chores grouped so one lap around the yard knocks out water, feed, and a pallet check without you ever backtracking or wondering what you forgot.
I like that. Treating brain power like diesel. You only get so many starts and stops a day. If this place was mine after a 9 to 5, I'd want 3 big defaults. 1 chore loop, 1 harvest loop, and 1 oh no loop for breakdowns and sick goats. So I'm not reinventing the route every night in the dark.
So picture this place on a cold, rainy October night and you're stuck at work. Your cousin, who's never fed a goat in her life, pulls in. I'd love this yard set up like a farm escape room. Green tags on feed here, blue on water here, red on do not open, arrows on posts, and a laminated map in the shop that walks her pen to pen, like a puzzle you can't mess up.
Yeah, like you hang a little card on every gate. If the S770 icon on the fridge is green, do steps 1 to 3. If it's red, just toss hay and walk away. I kind of want QR codes on the well house and the pallet shed too. Scan it, get a 30-second video of you explaining the chore loop so nobody has to guess in the dark.
If you really want that farm escape room to work, you almost have to start with a failure autopsy week. Take 3 near misses. Goats on the shoulder of 286, truck stuck at a bad bin pad, cousin lost in the dark, and ask, what invisible system failed here? The gate, the map, or the text chain? Then you rebuild those first.
Yeah, because the goat on the road is never actually the goat's fault. It's the half-latched gate, or the panel that bows, or the I thought you had it moment. I kind of like the idea of printing that list and hanging it by the fridge. 3 stories, 3 fixes, so every new helper learns the lessons without living the panic.
You can feel the role swap now. You're not the combine driver anymore. You're the cart jockey and traffic controller. That Mosstown Sprint in the 8400R is basically the heartbeat of the whole system. One person shuttling grain so the AI S770 never starves and that halfway full Mac at the edge of 80 keeps nudging toward payday.
Yeah, and that's the perfect second job rhythm. Big tractor time happens in these road sprints and quick dumps. Then you bounce back to goats and pallets without ever feeling like you didn't farm today. If you were building a whole goat and sheep setup around this cart loop, what's the one chore you'd absolutely automate first?
Water, no question. If the farm's gonna run without you for 3 days in the middle of all this, that Volvo water truck and every trough are the bosses. You can skip grain for a bit. You can let a Mac sit full on the edge of 80. But if a float sticks and a tank runs dry, the whole goat and sheep plan falls apart before the corn check ever does.
Yeah, and that's the sneaky part. Everybody worries about the big green iron, but the real 72-hour test is, can one cousin and a neighbor kid keep water moving, gates latched, and that milk pallet from spoiling while you're stuck on overtime in town? I kind of want to see a No Farmer Weekend challenge on this map sometime.
Rolling this 8400R over that little canal bridge, I'm staring at all the ghost acres we never count. Ditch banks, canal edges, that triangle by the culvert. On a goat and sheep farm, those are free salad bars. Seed a clover strip, maybe a pollinator mix, and suddenly, your road ditches are feeding bees and bottle babies without adding a whole new field to manage.
Yeah, those skinny slices between Gage Road and the corn are kind of perfect side hustles. You can't turn a combine in there, but a string of posts and a hot wire could give the goats a browse lane. Question is, which ghost acres do you farm on purpose, and which ones do you leave wild so the deer stay out of 80?
I'd split them into 3 buckets: goat lanes, peace buffers, and bee strips. Anything you can fence easy and watch from the road becomes a browse alley. The real tangle patches by the canal? Let them stay wild so the deer snack there instead of in 80. Then stitch pollinator mixes along the safer stretches to feed bees and keep the soil dressed year-round.
And that's where the kid crew comes in, right? Hand a 4-H kid an iPad in this 8400R. Let them drop pins on every ditch and triangle. Green for goat salad bars. Yellow for pollinator. Red for leave it wild. Pay them a little, buy their fair project. And suddenly, your ghost acres and your future labor pool both get napped in one loop.
Exactly. And the sneaky win is those kid pins turn into your future crew list. You know which 4-H kid noticed the washout, who flagged a busted post, who remembered where the B strip starts. 5 years later, those are the same names you text when you're stuck in town and that S770's full and needs a cart babysitter on short notice.
Yeah, that's the real insurance policy out here. It's not the warranty, it's the contacts app. Half these Gage road passes are really just waving at the people who'll check your water, move a truck, or shut a gate when you're buried at work. I kind of want to do a whole Invisible Neighbors week, just mapping who saves whose day.
Out here on Gage Road, I always think the real safety net isn't the 8400R or the cart. It's the contact list. You've got the water neighbor, the truck neighbor, the gate closer, and none of that's written down anywhere. Just this messy, beautiful handshake web that decides whether a full S770 ever actually gets unloaded on time.
Yeah, and every name on that list came from a story. Somebody who once dragged you out of a ditch, or hauled a load when you were sick, or checked goats in an ice storm. I kind of want to rank them. Who's on your first call list if that combine's full, you're stuck in town, and you only get one text?
First call's actually different depending on the crisis. If the S770's full and you're stuck in town, I text the equipment whisperer who can drive anything with an engine. But if it's mid-January, ice storm, goats due to kid, I'm calling the one neighbor who knows every breaker, valve, and barn cat on this place by heart.
Yeah, that's the split I see too. Horsepower friend and house brain friend. Which is why I kinda love this idea of an attention budget lab winter. 1 week you literally log who calls when, what derails your day, and then you redesign just one lane or pen, so the next crisis steals half as many brain cells.
So that's where this attention budget winter hits the barn, not the field. Take that cluttered shop or future lambing barn and pretend you're walking in half asleep at 2 a.m. Lights on one switch, feed on the right, water left. Bright tape on the floor like airport lines, so even a brand new helper can just follow colors instead of asking questions.
Yeah, you basically turn the barn into a quiet brain building. Green path to do chores, red path to don't touch. Giant labels on every breaker and valve. I'd even hang one stupid simple poster by the door. 3 pictures, 3 steps. So if the power's out or a pipe bursts, nobody has to think. Just match the photo.
I'd actually turn what you're seeing right now, a clean midfield unload, cart staged, Mac waiting, into a little broken link drill. You ask, if the cart died here, or the semi or internet or power went out, what's my 10-minute plan B so the S770 doesn't just sit here burning wages and brain cells?
Yeah, like if the cart quits in this exact spot, do you have a paper green ticket book and a backup drive straight to town route? Or is it panic and group texts? I kind of want a checklist on the fridge. Cart fail, truck fail, power fail. 3 boxes, 3 moves. So one broken link is just an annoying coffee break, not a whole day wreck.
I'd actually love to turn one night of this into data, not gossip hour at the shop. Same neighbors who usually talk weather and rumors, but everybody has to bring one printout. Your Field 80 yield map, somebody else's grazing chart, maybe a simple water truck log. No bragging, just, what did this line of numbers buy you this year?
Yeah, like instead of, I heard so-and-so's corn fell on its face, it's, here's my red streak along the trees, here's the goat gain on that ditch mix, here's who actually used the water truck in July. 1 pot of chili, 3 sheets of paper, and suddenly, you're planning next year together instead of guessing in the coffee shop.
So watching this S770 and cart rhythm, I keep thinking you kinda have to farm like an airport. Field 80 is the runway. Goats are parked at the gates, and you're the control tower deciding who lands when. Corn arrivals, kid and lamb arrivals, then shipping days as departures, all slotted so nothing's circling in a holding pattern till midnight.
Yeah, and every good airport has those laminated checklists. I'd totally steal that here. Little pre-flight card on the fridge for harvest days. Fuel, waterers, milk pallet, truck keys. Then a quick debrief after dark. What got delayed? What broke? So tomorrow's flight plan steals a little less sleep.
I'd actually turn one weekend on this place into a full ghost owner drill. Same S770 humming on 80, same goats and milk pallet, but you leave nothing but checklists, labels, and a contact list on the fridge and vanish till Monday. Whatever breaks first, water, bin watching, paperwork, that's where the next corn pass buys an upgrade.
Yeah, because it's never the thing you expect. You think a combine's gonna strand you, and instead, it's a cousin lost in the dark or nobody knowing how to read the bin gauge. I'd love to see a scoreboard after that weekend. 3 biggest surprises, 3 cheap fixes, and which neighbor quietly turned into the MVP.
You know what that No Farmer Weekend challenge turns into in my head? A farm fail flight recorder. Like, pick one ugly week, say a gate got left cracked, goats ate half a yard tree, truck was late to 80, and instead of just griping, you sit down Sunday with whoever was here and rewind every tiny decision that stacked into that mess.
Yeah, and you treat it like an episode recap, not a blame session. Here's the clue we missed. Here's the assumption that was wrong. Here's the $5 fix that would have killed the whole chain. I kinda want a dry erase board in the shop titled This Week's Oops with 1 doodle and 1 fix, just to keep it light but real.
That's exactly why I like this Freightliner just idling at the mouth of the driveway. This is where the invisible fence line economy lives. Half the real money out here isn't in the main field. It's in the ditches and edges, a mile of fence your sheep neighbor grazes, or that canal bank you let a beekeeper seed in clover for a jar of honey rent.
Yeah, like the guy up the road who pays for parking his hay wagons on a bin pad by plowing your drive all winter. No cash, just snow moved and a cleaner lawn. If you had to put a number on these Gage Road edge deals, which one do you think secretly pencils out the best? The sheep lease, the pollinator strip, or the driveway swap?
Over 10 years, I'm putting my money on the driveway swap every time. That snowplow neighbor is basically selling you uptime. Your milk and wool pallets move. Your trucks don't bury to the axles. And every clean, mud-free load off 80 makes more than any jar of honey or sheep lease could on its own.
Yeah, and the best part is nobody even calls it a deal. It's just, I park here, you plow there. Kinda makes me want to do a brain swap morning too. Hand that snowplow neighbor your chore list and see which parts of this place make sense and which parts turn into a scavenger hunt.
I love this little climb out of 80 in the Mac because it's exactly where I start doing a winter draft board in my head. Same way you pick first round players, you start ranking projects. With this corn as salary cap, what's going in the top slots? Bin sensors, better driveway base, or actual goat lanes that don't turn to soup in March?
Yeah, I want to see that draft live. 3 columns on the shop wall, grain nerd stuff, goat glamour, and invisible contracts. Snowplow neighbor might be pounding the table for more gravel, while the 4-H kid GM is like, nope, we're trading up for a lambing pen and a pallet shed.
Oh, that draft board's absolutely going on the shop wall. First round pick for me is gravel and base in every lane this Mac touches, so you quit losing time to ruts. Second is a simple covered pallet nook by the house. Milk, wool, seed, all off the mud. Third, I'm sneaking in 1 good set of goat panels so lanes actually stay where you drew them.
See, I'd flip your board. Goat panels go number 1, so the chaos is fenced. Pallet shed is 2, so the money stays dry. And if there's anything left, then we sprinkle gravel. Chat, I want to know, on your own Gage road, are you drafting critter comfort, grain nerd gear, or human sanity first?
You know what this 90-mile-an-hour sprint across 80 makes me think of? A rural attention theft audit. Trucks flying, S770s humming. But what actually steals your day is the dumb stuff. Hunting a hitch pin, a dead flashlight, walking 3 gates for 1 chore. Fix 5 of those, and you gain more time than buying another truck like this.
Yeah, like the real speed boost isn't in that Mac. It's in not losing 20 minutes to where's the scraper, where's the key, which bin is which. If you did an attention audit here, what's first on the chopping block? Mystery switches in the barn, unlabeled bins, or that one gate you always have to climb instead of open?
Honestly, that's where I want to flip the script and treat you like an employee on this place for a week. Watching this Mac haul for the S770, I'd literally time card it. 3 hours to grain, an hour to goats, 40 minutes to neighbor favors, 30 to hunting lost tools. End of the week, you ask? If I cost $40 an hour, which of those actually paid?
Yeah, in which ones you'd fire yourself from first? If hunt for the right wrench and drive the same empty lap twice show up as a whole day on the time card, that's your clue the next corn check buys labels and a second wrench set, not another shiny toy. I kinda want chat to guess which column wins on their farm. Grain, critters, or chaos control.
If we're actually time carding you like an employee, I kinda wanna turn this whole place into a board game. Picture a big Gage roadmap on the kitchen table. Field 80 tile, goat lot tiles, bin tiles, truck cards for this Mac and the S770. Every night you move pieces and see which rules keep you from wasting turns on dumb laps.
Yeah, like 3 move chores only. No card in the deck should say walk back for the wrench you forgot. I'd love to bring in some old-timer neighbors for that game night too. Lay their routes on the board and see which dusty habits, like always topping off water before dark, still beat our fancy AI plans.
Honestly, watching this Mac creep up to the pit, I'm thinking less about the ticket and more about the hours when nobody's here. Grain still breathing in those big silos at 2 a.m. Raccoons are doing security checks on the goat lot. And a bin fan kicking on or off probably matters more than any move we make in daylight.
Yeah, like the daytime game is this nice, clean haul to Gage grain, but the farm's real personality comes out after dark. Fog rolling off 80, coyotes testing the fence, condensation climbing your bin walls. If you could change just one thing for those off hours, are you putting in lights, cameras, or smarter fan controls first?
I'm team smarter fan controls first, especially with this Mac nosed up to Gage grain. Lights and cameras help you see the problem. A good controller actually moves moisture and money while you sleep. One bad over-dry bin can burn more corn value than this whole load is gonna fetch on the scale.
Yeah, and you can feel that in this yard. Daytime is tickets and trucks, but the real test is 2 a.m. when a fog bank hugs 80 and a north wind slaps these silos. I'd love a little micro weather lab on the worst bin corner, just so the fan plan is based on data, not vibes and coffee shop rumors.
I'd actually pair that little micro weather lab with a full-blown farm fire drill week. Pick 3 fake disasters. Bin fan dies at midnight, ice storm blocks the lane to 80, water quits on the goat lot, and see what really fails first. Information, tools, people, or hardware. Then you buy the cheapest fix that would have turned each one into a shrug instead of a saga.
Yeah, and you gotta run it like a real drill, no superhero farmer swooping in. If the cousin can't find the breaker, or nobody knows where the spare float valve is, that's the note on the fridge for winter projects. I want to see chat's list of we only do this 'cause granddad did. Those are the ghost chores we can probably delete next.
So as this Mac rockets back up Gage Road with that trailer empty, and the S770 sitting full over on 80? This is exactly when I'd schedule farm jury duty. Not family, mail carrier, custom guy, maybe your crop insurance rep. Hand him a clipboard, let him ride this loop, and circle every gate, lane, and sign that makes no sense from the driver's seat.
Yeah, and you gotta promise you won't argue with the verdicts. If the mail lady says, I can't tell which drive is grain and which is goats, that's a project. One Saturday of paint, posts, and arrows, so the next time an empty truck screams off 286, even a brand new helper can find that full S770 without a phone call.
If we're punching that time card honest, the next upgrade I'd sneak in isn't a bigger shop. It's little chore pods sprinkled around this place. Watching this Mac sit here catching corn, I'm picturing a weatherproof box by the goat lot, another by the bin row, basic tools, spare chains, a headlamp, so every breakdown is 10 steps, not 10 minutes back to the shed.
Yeah, like instead of one museum of tools, you have 6 tiny gas stations for your brain. Gate Cluster gets wire stretchers and a T-post driver. Bin Pod gets moisture tester and broom. Goat Pod gets syringes and hose washers. I'm curious where Chat would drop the first pod, by the bins, by the goats, or right on that Field 80 headland.
I love that idea of 6 little gas stations for your brain, but here's the twist I'd run this winter. No new iron, just Franken systems. Take that old gravity wagon and turn it into a mobile feed kitchen. Bolt a toolbox and hose reel on it. Park it by whatever lot's hot that week instead of buying a whole new chore rig.
Yeah, and once you start Franken rigging stuff, comfort sneaks in the back door. Suddenly that junk calf hut is a windbreak by the goat chute, or a spare stock trailer becomes a heated check-in deck with a plug-in heater. I want to know whose farm chat has the wildest repurposed contraption that actually works.
If we're being honest, that fresh 11 grand corn ticket matters less than what it buys in brain and heart. On a second job farm like this, you kinda have to rank chores by emotional ROI. What leaves you proud at bedtime and what leaves you muttering on Highway 286. And start using grain checks to shrink the resentment jobs first.
Yeah, like if every goat lot lap is ankle-deep mud and sketchy gates, it doesn't matter how good the milk check is. You start dreading sunset. I'd totally spend the next chunk off Field 80 on one joy upgrade for the animals' world. Better footing, more shade, cleaner paths, before we ever even think about another shiny toy.
You know what that joy upgrade for the animals' world turns into long term? It's the first chapter in making this a readable farm. I want 10 years from now, niece or renter to walk in, see clear lanes, labeled pens, maybe a QR code on the goat shed, and be able to run chores off a binder and a phone instead of 50 years of stories.
Yeah, like Succession without acres changing hands yet. You're basically writing subtitles on the whole place. Color-coded lanes, gate tags, don't let the goats pass this line, painted on the concrete. It's kinda wild to think this Mac lap on 286 is also a scouting run for where those future signs and maps go.
For me, the next frontier on a place like this isn't more iron, it's sleep. You watch that Mac hammer up Gage Road while the S770 hums, and you realize the real flex is a chore layout, where you can shut the lights off at 10, not play Midnight Superhero every time a gate or waterer hiccups.
Yeah, like a second job farmer sleep lab, build the whole week around no 2 a.m. drama. Goats get checked before kids' bedtime. Hauls happen when UPS and the school bus aren't in your way. And anything that still needs hero hours either gets a timer, a float valve, or it gets cut from the chores.
Out here on foot by 85, this is exactly where I'd run that human traffic map experiment. Strap a cheap GPS or just a phone app on for a week and trace every boot path and little pickup lap. I bet the heat map would show one stupid choke point you cross 10 times a day. Move that gate or hose reel and your whole life gets quieter.
Yeah, and it'd be so honest too. No, I think I go here, just bright red lines of where you actually burn daylight. I'd love to see that over seasons. November harvest paths versus June goat paths. Which corner of this yard do you think would light up like a runway? The bin row, the goat lot, or this 85 entrance?
Standing in this weedy wheat stubble, this is exactly where I'd run that rookie takeover night you were talking about. Hand a brand new helper a simple map, point at the sprayer and the water truck, and just watch where they freeze up. Wrong hose, mystery valve, can't tell field edge from yard. Wherever they hesitate, that's tomorrow's $300 rain day project.
Yeah, and Field 85 is perfect for that because it's honest, ugly. Bad pH on the HUD, tall weeds everywhere, gear parked right on the edge. If a first-timer can't look around and instantly know, spray here, don't spray there, lime first, then N, that's not on them. That's on how we've laid out this goat and grain campus.
Out here jogging the 8R across this cleaned-off 85, I'm thinking about that rookie you dropped in the weeds earlier and zooming out a season. I kinda want a 4-season script for this place. Winter as shop and learning mode, spring for animal upgrades, summer the row crop grind, and fall as story and data harvest, not just grain.
Yeah, instead of always behind all year, it's like each quarter gets one theme and one experiment. Winter might be fix one mud hole and one brain hole. Spring is make goats happier. Summer, you baby 80. And fall, you actually sit down with the yield maps and coffee. Chat, which season would you rewrite first on your farm?
I love that attention budget lab you were talking about because it sets up the next level, Farm Blackout Week. Same S770 on 80, same goats and milk pallet, but you and your brain leave for 7 days. No secret texts, no hero trips home, just whatever checklists, labels, and neighbors you've actually built into the system.
Yeah, and the scary part is you'd learn real fast what job you've been quietly hoarding. Bin watcher, goat nurse, weather nerd. I'd keep a notebook on the counter all week titled Who Saved It? And write down every neighbor and kid that patched a crack. That's your real labor map, not the payroll app.
Honestly, this slow lap with the 8R and disc on 85 is the perfect time for that animal embassy walk. As a human, this edge is all about tractor swing and room to turn that harrow. If you redraw it from a goat's passport though, you're thinking shade pockets, quiet corners, and one dry path from grass to water with 0 mud traps.
Yeah, like 2 maps stamped on the same field. Ours is wheel tracks and implement width. Theirs is, can I see my buddies? Can I bolt if something spooks me? Where's the breeze? Standing where that disc just turned, would you plant a hedge, a hot fence, or a little goat lookout hill first for the critter side?
Standing here with the Mac, tucked under that S770 auger, this is exactly where I start thinking kid scale. Like, could a 12-year-old actually run a Saturday loop on this place? Check goats, watch this combine fill, text you if the trailer hits 80%, without ever crossing a sketchy lane or guessing which lever to pull?
Yeah, and the rules change when you shrink it down to kid height. No climby gates, no mystery switches, big, clear colors on trucks and pens. I kinda wanna build one whole junior chore circuit off this headland. Safe paths, light hoses, simple notes. Then see what that reveals about the shortcuts we've just tolerated as adults.
So if we really build that junior chore circuit off this headland, I'd sneak in an emotional ROI lab day right behind it. Walk the loop with a kid and a notebook. Circle the chores that make them smile. Star the ones that make them go, oh. And then redesign next week so the worst jobs either get tools, get traded, or just get deleted.
Yeah, because if a 12-year-old and a tired 35-year-old both hate the same mudgate, That's not a character flaw, that's a design problem. I'd love a color map on the fridge. Green chores that give you peace, red chores that steal your soul, and then you spend one field 80 corn check turning just one of those reds to yellow.
So if both the 12-year-old and the 35-year-old are glaring at the same mudgate, I want to see what happens if we shut up for a day and let the signs talk. Take a loop like this S770 to Mac unload. Run it once with zero chatter, only notes, arrows, checklists, and see where the whole thing falls on its face.
Yeah, like a silent system Saturday. No yelling across 80, no 15 phone calls, just whatever the map on the fridge and a few Sharpie arrows on the truck can carry. I bet the first hiccup isn't the combine. It's some unlabeled valve or mystery switch that only lives in your head.
Exactly. Once the Sharpie arrows expose the mystery valves, the next level is rebuilding this place around night shift life. Picture this Mac lap as the 7 to 10 p.m. window after a day job. Chores have to be quiet, lit, and idiot-proof enough that tired you can roll in, hit goats, grain, and bed by 10 without heroics.
Yeah, like the farm's whole rulebook changes after dark. No loud banging by the neighbor's bedroom, no just one more bin climb at 11:30. I kinda wanna script a full 24-hour clock for this Gage map, where the only legal farm moves are 5 to 7 a.m. and 7 to 10 p.m., and see which chores survive that time auction.
So if we lock the clock to those 5 to 7 a.m. and 7 to 10 p.m. windows, you almost need a farm time bankruptcy court for this place. Sitting in this Mac with the S770 feeding you, you'd put every chore on a whiteboard. Fuel, goats, neighbor favors, and for every new idea, you're legally required to kill or automate an old habit to pay for it.
Yeah, like you want to add one more project, say a weekly data night or a new goat check. But the judge says, cool, what are you liquidating? That extra coffee shop lap, the third fence patrol, or the sacred but useless paperwork ritual? I kind of want to see chat's first guilty habit they'd throw on the auction block.
If your off-farm boss rode shotgun in this anthem for a week, they'd treat this place like an employee review. You show up on time for S770 unloads, but your meeting notes stink. No labels, no written plan, and way too many surprise overtime shifts. I kinda like grading the farm that way. What gets you fired? What earns you a raise?
Yeah, like the boss is circling stuff on a clipboard. A+ for reliability on corn days, C- for chore meetings start late because we can't find the right hose, and a big question mark by goats. Who actually owns this job? Chat, what would your farm's worst review line be?
If that off-farm boss is riding shotgun while you're hammering 130 down 286, I bet they're not even looking at the speedo. They're grading vibes. Some days this loop feels light and clean. Some days the same mile feels like a thunderstorm. I kinda want one corner of the farm to be an emotional weather station, not just a yield check strip.
Yeah, like a real little mood lab. Cheap sensor on the post, notebook in a mailbox. Every time somebody walks past the goat lot or this 80 headland, they tag it calm, rushed, or about to snap. Then, once a month, you change one tiny thing to move the forecast. Gravel here, shade there, maybe a new gate instead of a new gadget.
If we actually ran that little mood post by the goat lot, I'd pair it with a whole chore ecology week. Take every job on this place and tag it predator, prey, or pollinator. Predator chores hunt problems early. Prey jobs always get kicked down the road. And pollinators quietly make everything better, like 5-minute tidy-ups or lube passes.
Yeah, and once you sort I bet you realize harvest isn't what's frying you. It's the herd of prey chores nibbling your ankles. Those little, always late jobs around 80 and 85. I want to see one week where chat flips the script Promote a few pollinator chores to prime time and see if breakdowns and bad moods actually drop.
Rolling this 8R across 85, I'm thinking less about shanks in the dirt and more about all the invisible jobs riding shotgun. Every, did I shut that hydrant? Or did I text the hey guy buzzing in your head? This is exactly the kind of support field I'd use to fire some of those brain chores and hand them to simple systems.
Yeah, like 85 becomes the quiet brain helper, straw for dry pens, maybe a clover strip for late nibbling. So the critter world stays calm and your 3 a.m. worry list gets shorter. If you had to evict one invisible job from your head this winter, what are you kicking out first?
First invisible job I'm evicting is Storm Day Tour Guide. Watching this 8R carve around that tree on 85, I want this whole goat and grain campus neighbor resilient. Lanes you can't miss, one-page map on the fridge, chore pods stocked so 3 random helpers can show up in an ice storm and just slot into this corn and goat loop without you ever leaving town.
Yeah, like instead of you sprinting around in the dark yelling directions, the farm itself says, trucks this way, goats that way, tools right here. Color posts on the 80 drive, a tote of essentials by the goat lot, maybe a laminated "You Are Here" map in the shop. If 3 semi-strangers rolled in tomorrow, which corner of this place could they actually run solo?
I'd answer that by turning 85 into straight-up Farm Mythbusters Week. Grab 3 laws everybody swears by, like you must walk every fence weekly, evenings are for big projects, and paper logs always beat apps in a storm. And we actually script A/B trials out here to see which ones are real and which ones are just inherited guilt.
Yeah, like one week you walk every inch of goat fence. Next week you only walk the hot spots you mark during storms and kid season. And then you compare actual failures. Same with logs, clipboard versus cheap phone photos. I'm dying to know which myth chat would put on the chopping block first.
Fence walk myth is the one I'd put on the chopping block first. While this 8R is basically on rails with those guidance lines, I'd split 85 in half. North side, you do the classic full perimeter walk every week. South side, you only check the stormy corners and known trouble spots. End of the month, you count escapes and hot wires, not guilt.
Yeah, and you log it like a little science fair. Date, weather, where you actually had to fix something. If the lazy side of 85 has the same number of goat jailbreaks as the perfect side, congratulations, you just bought yourself a Saturday back that can go into cover crops or, a nap.
If we're really logging that lazy fence side like a science fair, this 8R Ripdown 85 is basically your survey lap for the next exhibit, a failure map. Every time you hit a sketchy dip or blind turn, you drop a pin, worst 50 feet on the farm. Then, winter you turn just one of those into a blueprint and actually rebuild it.
Yeah, like instead of doom-scrolling breakdown stories, you pick one villain corner. Maybe that slick S-curve by 85, or the rutted entrance off 286. And give it a 3-tier plan. Cheap fix this winter, medium fix next year, dream fix when the corn checks stack. Chat, what's your worst 50 feet you'd put on the board?
You know how we've been time-carding chores? I kind of want to take it full ESPN and run a chore draft night for this place. One team is pure profit, hauling corn, spraying, planting. The other team is sanity, shop sweep, 10-minute tidy, quick goat check. You draft a month of jobs and see which team actually wins your life back.
Yeah, and I bet the shocker first-round pick isn't run the combine. It's some tiny sanity job like 5 minutes of putting tools back so tomorrow's 8R start is brainless. I want to see Chat's board. Which chore are you overpaying like a star QB? And which quiet little job is your undervalued lineman?
Out here with the 8R chewing up 85, this is exactly where I'd run a little Field 85 Olympics. Every strip gets a 30-day experiment. One pass is least touch weed control. Another is a no-words chore pod. Another is a 1-minute end-of-day shutdown. And at the end, you medal them on minutes saved and stress dropped, not bushels.
I like that because it fits how you actually use 85 already. Sandbox, not shrine. And it tees up the next level. Once you know which strip wins, you lock it in for a fake night crew. Same 85, same goats and corn nearby. But from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m., the farm has to run on those little Olympic champions without you saying a word.
If we're really gonna let this place run 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. on its own, I'd design one whole loop from the animal's point of view first. This 8R path along 85 becomes the quiet lane. No slamming gates by the goat lot, lights aimed low, waterers and mineral where a nervous doe can hit them without crossing any spooky shadows.
Yeah, like let the goats write the route. No barking dogs, no surprise truck lights, just a calm circuit that hits clean water, dry footing, and a snack. Then we humans try living on that loop for a week and see which of our efficient shortcuts they veto. Chat, what's one critter comfort you'd bake into that night path?
I'd bake one critter comfort into that lane before anything else. Water you can hit without thinking. One trough or nipple line that every goat, kid, and tired human walks past twice a loop. On my home place, the biggest stress drop we ever bought wasn't a new barn. It was moving one hydrant 30 feet so nobody had to drag hose through the spooky corner at night.
Yeah, it's wild how a tiny move like that rewrites the whole farm mood. That's kind of my dream off-farm boss audit corner here. Walk the goat lot like an HR manager and ask, would a day one hire know where to get clean water, where to stand, and how to get out of Dodge? If not, that's the first 3 arrows of paint before we ever buy gizmos.
So if that HR-style walk around the goat lot is our audit, I'd turn the rest of this 8R pass into an apprenticeship lab. 2 hours, 3 stations. One at the tool bench, one in a calm livestock pen, and one right on a headland like this. If a brand new kid can clear those without breaking anything, they're cleared for Saturday duty.
Yeah, and each station's gotta have a pass-fail test. Tool bench, find the right wrench and put it back. Pen, halter a calm goat and top a waterer cleanly. Headland, park a truck where the S770 can reach it without you yelling. If they can't do it solo with the signs you've got, the system's what flunked, not the kid.
If you want to know who's actually ready for that first big January ice storm, this 8R lap on 85 is the test drive. I'd run a whole storm tower drill off this view. One list for what moves before the front hits, one for what's staged right here by the pond when power flickers, and one list of neighbors you text before you ever text the group chat.
Yeah, and the order on those lists matters more than the gadgets. Before a storm, I'd rather see that Volvo tanker topped, a generator test run, and one truck pointed at Field 80 than 5 new apps. In Gage, the storm plan's basically fuel, water, grain flow, then phones. Chat, who's the first non-family name on your storm text list?
First non-family name on that storm text list? On a go-shift farm like this, it's the one buddy who can't tell a PTO from a garden hose. If they can roll in at midnight, see 3 colors of posts, a big feed water grain board, and still get goats fed and this corn flowing without calling you, that's when the layout's actually done.
Yeah, the real test isn't your farm kid cousin. It's your nurse friend and your IT buddy on a snow day. Can they find the right truck for 80, the Volvo for water, and the one do not touch switch in under 5 minutes? I kind of want to paint that whole system on the shop wall like an escape room map.
So take that escape room wall you're picturing and zoom it out farm-wide. This whole Gage map needs like 3 symbols and 3 colors that run the show. Maybe blue droplet for water, yellow kernel for grain, green hoof for critters. And you paint that code onto trucks, valves, even the 8R's parking spots, so a midnight rookie can just follow pictures, not paragraphs.
Yeah, and then you get nerdy and do 3 languages at once. Big icons for your nurse friend, color stripes for your tired self at 9 p.m., and a few actual words for that older neighbor who still squints at everything. I'd totally test it on one corner, shop door, goat lane, and field 80 truck pad, and see who gets lost first.
Out here with the 8R carving these dark stripes, I'm thinking every farm's got one failure row. That stretch of junky bins or crooked fence row you apologize for when company pulls in. I kind of like the idea of picking just one of those scars a year and moving something 30 feet. Seeing if you get fewer U-turns and fewer curse words out of it.
Yeah, like instead of dreaming up a whole new shop, you just unstack the scrap pile by the 80 entrance, or fix that one rutted turn where everybody's coffee ends up on the dash. It's wild how cleaning 5 ugly feet can chill out a whole harvest. Half the family fights I've seen started in the same bad corner every time.
You know what this 8R sprint across 85 makes me want to try next year? Emotional crop rotation. You'd pair a day like this, big iron, ugly edges, with a mentally light job back at the yard. Maybe labeling hoses or 10-minute tidy in the shop, so you don't crawl into bed feeling like the whole week was heavy tillage on your brain too.
Yeah, instead of 7 straight rip and grind days, it's like Monday is 8R therapy plus a fun, easy win. Tuesday, maybe office work plus a quick gate fix you've been dreading. I'm curious which light chores chat would draft as their go-to reset after chewing ruts out of a field all afternoon.
Watching that 8R stretch its legs on 85, this is where I'd run an invisible work walk. 1 lap from yard to field, and you write down every silent brain job. Remember that valve. Dodge that neighbor's dog. Don't block this lane. By the time you hit the headland, you've basically drawn a stress map in your notebook.
And the wild part is, most of those jobs aren't even physical. They're social and mental. Don't tick off mailbox guy. Don't dust out the school bus. Wave at Aunt Linda by the mailboxes. I'd love to see which 2 dots you'd erase first if you redesigned that loop just for a calmer brain, not faster acres.
First 2 dots I'd erase on that loop, anything that makes you or a critter feel hunted. Watching this 8R rip past that tree on 85, I'm thinking Critter Council night. Goats get the first vote on this edge. They'd probably move the loud stuff away from shade, smooth one muddy dip, and demand a no-spook water stop on the lane.
Yeah, like you spread a map on the tailgate and every species gets a color pen. Goats, dogs, even the mail lady. No human shortcuts allowed on the first draft. Just, where do my feet feel safe? Then you're allowed, what? 3 human comforts to add back. 1 parking pad, 1 shortcut gate, 1 coffee stop bench by that tree.
I love that you cap the Critter Council map with a coffee stop bench, because that's the missing piece on most farms. A true third place. Not the house, not the tractor seat, but a fence line rail or tailgate at the edge of 85 where people know this is where we cool off, swap gossip, and fix the plan before somebody says something dumb on the radio.
Yeah, like an official timeout box with a view of 80 and the goat lot. I'd put a cheap bench and a thermos hook right where that 8R pops out of the headland. 2 rules. No yelling from the bench, and you can't leave until you've lied at least once about how good your corn looks compared to the neighbors.
All right, y'all. We're gonna park episode 2 right here. 8R stretching its legs on 85. S770 still chewing on 80. And a whole goat and grain campus starting to exist on paper instead of just daydreams. Next time, we'll be bolting that summers on and turning yield map red spots into concrete, fence, and real critter comfort.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out on this post-Thanksgiving lap through Gage, Kentucky. Same crossroads, smarter systems, a little more sleep baked into the plan. Go rest your own brain like it's an 8400 on light duty, and we'll see you back here when the chisel drops.